Good morning. So, it's your coach, Carla Nicole. I had a very interesting question that I think not only my answer would benefit the viewer, but also it will benefit you. Welcome to my channel. This is Coaching Matters. I wanted to talk about today a really interesting um, perspective on living in the now, being present in your love affair and relationships, also understanding what you have when you have it. And a lot of times we don't really, unfortunately, live currently in our life because oftentimes we're living in yesterday or we're living in tomorrow. Okay. So let me just help you to understand what I mean by living in the present. Um, it took me a long time to finally realize that I have a very creative mind. So, because I'm a creator, I oftentimes would create, and in the creating, I had to really stay focused on my imaginative side of my mind. I had to be kind of always romanticizing about, what poem I'm writing, what web series I'm creating, what play I want to create. And so I was oftentimes, literally living in my creative side of my mind. And what that means is I was physically here, yes, but I was mentally in my imaginative side of my mind. And so when you're staying locked into that side of your mind, you find yourself just so, indulged in that you lose the fact that you have a life currently that is going and you are not here. You're not present. So the question that the viewer asked is, how do we really recognize true love when we have it? She asked this and was moved because anyone that knows Lauren London knows that Lauren was in a relationship with Nipsey, and she lost him, unfortunately, to death. He was murdered, and she had mentioned in her video that she didn't recognize that she had the powerful love affair she had until after he passed on. Well, the viewer asked me, how can we get more current and not get so unfortunately rooted in regret after they're gone or after we no longer have it? How can we be more present? How can we really be here in the love affair? How can we do it to where we actually can enjoy it and be here and present and also acknowledge that we have it? How can we do this? Because she was just saying that she unfortunately also lost a true love, and she also experienced, unfortunately, the undermining feeling that she didn't have, or she didn't realize what she had until it was gone. So, I want to give you some key ideas to think about. And this really helps me to be present. This also helps me to be in gratitude for what I have while I have it. So, death and dying doesn't really hurt as deeply as it can because I try to be here in the now with the person I love, so that I'm not constantly, one, missing them, or two, in regret of not being present when I did have them. So, how do we get there? We get there by being more in the now, getting focused on what is it that I can do while I am experiencing life, to where I'm not always thinking about it in the after time. Like, we'll go into our memories and be like, I remember when I was a kid, I remember when I was young, I remember this, I remember that. Yes, but if we're more current and present in the now, we will find out that we can actually experience the relationship, we can be in gratitude, and we can be fulfilled while we have it in the right now, in the present. So what I explained to her is that if we pay attention to how we actually live right now, currently, mentally, are we present? Are we here right now? Are you with me right now? Or are you going to go back later and say, I watched that video, and I think I'll go back and watch it again because I wasn't really there. I was listening, but I wasn't really hearing everything. Or let me go back and revisit. Let me go back into my old relationship because I wasn't really there. I want to recap or recoup what I didn't have. Well, here's the truth. It's hard to go back and get it again. So it's best to be in real time while we're here, to make sure that we are in the now while we're here. It's not easy, but we can do it. What I ended up realizing is that in order for us to be more current in our life, we first must learn how to practice gratitude. Gratitude meaning that when we are in the presence of someone we care about, we love, even strangers or people that we come in contact with, when we start to acknowledge in the right now, in that moment, I'm here, and I'm really ready to experience what we're sharing while we're here. I want you to know I'm right here. I'm here right now. And actually, when we get to that point, we can actually realize that while we're here, we can actually feel and acknowledge how we are really in appreciation for them inside. Here's what we can do. I used to do this until I really started to get more masterful of being present in life. I used to pinch, do little pinches. No one knew. It was just me, myself, and I that knew I was pinching. But I was pinching myself to help me to remember, you're here, you're in the now. Don't regret. Don't look back later. Be present. And then I started to be more present even when unexpected events would happen. When, we'll just say, someone would stop by or pop up, or I would be somewhere longer than I planned on being there. Because, of course, people see my face and they know I'm a coach, and so they want to explain what they got going on, and then they want to talk, and then they want my opinion, and what can I do, coach? I'm really struggling, and all of that. So at that point, I can't be like, I understand you got issues and stuff, but I gotta go. I can't. It's my purpose. So when someone comes heartfelt trying to figure out something, I have to make sure, okay, what is it you need from me? And then in that, I have to remain caring, compassionate. And then I have to also realize that because I'm in this purpose and I have this to do, how can I make sure that I'm not half-assing my presence? We can half-ass our presence. We can be here physically, but we can mentally be somewhere else. Let me explain something to you. There's a lot of relationships going on where people are in relationships that they're with someone that maybe they're really not into that much, or they're kind of loving them, but they're half-ass loving them. They're really like, I really wish I still was with my ex. I wish I still was with my old love. I remember and think back on how much I really valued what I had. And now I'm in this relationship and I don't feel the same. These all come from not being present when you have it. So, in order to fix that, try my pinching method. Begin pinching yourself very slightly to remember that you're right here, right now. And this really helps you to develop being more current, being more ready to deal with whatever's coming. See, the thing about life is no one teaches us that, oh my God, things can happen in an instant and we're not ready to deal with it. But yet we hold on to the past. And the past, unfortunately, we can never fix and we can never go back to. So when we can't go back to the past, we stay here in the mind to try to cope and try to heal ourselves because we weren't there when we had it. So in order to relieve ourselves from feeling so bogged down with, I just wish I had what I used to, we got to get current. And then we have to realize that in order to have a different life, in order to change things, we got to do something about what we have currently going on. Here's what's true. Most people are living in disappointment. They hate their current life. They don't like it. They don't like their love affair. They don't like how their life is. They don't like where they live. They don't like the car they drive. They hate their bills, always bogged down with debt. All of these things is because they're not current. We can only change what we can acknowledge, and something we cannot change is the past. Here's what's deep. Our past is for us to learn from. We're not supposed to stay stuck there. But a lot of people stay stuck in the past because they don't realize, oh my God, I thought I thought this is where I was supposed to go. I thought this is what I'm supposed to do. No, it wasn't. You went through it. You went through it. You went through it. But now, once you elevate out of it, you can now change and transform it. Here's what's true. When the viewer asked me about how can we get more current, well, you can. You just have to be willing to do something different. And here's what's true. A lot of times we don't even realize what we have until it's gone. But here's how you value what you have. You step back, you realize, okay, you know what? When my, you know, employer is fussing about something I'm maybe not doing correctly or I need to change, I don't have to get so bogged down and frustrated by that. I can take what is said and then I can transform it by making changes. It doesn't require for us to get all over the place or frustrated by it. We can just change it. Okay. Here's what's true. We don't have to get so overwhelmed by what is really going on in the now. But we do have to stop staying in the past. Past events are not going to be changed. We cannot transform them. We cannot go back. We cannot be back with the old love we used to be with. It's just not going to happen. So, again, when she mentioned that she was frustrated by her loss, a lot of times when I coach to people that have lost someone or that had a love affair that didn't go well, and they really have a hard time staying in their grief much too long, I explained to them that actually you can change it. It just requires for you to do something different. Here's what's true. If you want to be on here, viewers that don't want to engage properly and say positive things, then you're not welcome. You're free to go. People that really want to acknowledge and what I'm doing, please feel free to be here. But if you're just here to be a nuisance, go save it for someone else. It's just not even, it's all of that's going to be deleted, the silly stuff. So just let you know, it's not welcomed here. Now back to business. So really the truth is when you get to the point where you're trying to appeal and change some things, you can. It just requires for you to do something different. So when we strategically change how we want things to um, become better, we have to now look at what is it that we see that we dislike. So say for instance, you don't like how, the relationship you're in, you don't care too much for where you're living. There has to be some changes you have to make. And hoping and wishing and praying without doing isn't going to work. You're going to remain in that same situation until you decide to change it. So you have to sit down and strategize. You have to really be serious about what it is you want to change. And then you have to start making some serious strategic things and putting them in place. Here's what I do. I usually write down what it is I desire, whatever it is I desire to change, whatever that is. And once I write it down, then I actually put a stamp, a date to when I want that change to be manifested. It's not hard to do. It just requires for me to be committed to that date. Now, have I, not made the date? Well, actually, I have made the date, and normally I made the date a lot earlier than I planned to make it. But I usually like I have a date of April 21st, 2025. I want to manifest something. Well, yes, that's the manifestation date I'm desiring, but I might do it to where it's sooner than that. I don't know. But no matter what the date is for me to make sure that I am what? In stride to make the difference, in stride to make the change. When we are in pursuit to change some things and in pursuit to manifest something that we want to happen, we are less likely to live in the past. The past, like I said earlier, is only for your source of reference. The past is not to stay there. We're stuck in the past because we don't realize that the past is something we are using as a coping mechanism. It's not there for that. Past is just what it is. Being here and being here in the now is very important. Here's the other thing. When we stay focused on being in the future, a lot of times, we still are not current. And so we're spending most of our time wishing, hoping, and encouraged to get what we want. But we're not going to get it when we're not focused on what it is we have for real. So be in gratitude. Write down at least 3 things today, even after you get finished watching this video. Write down 3 things you're grateful for. What that also does is it helps you to be current, and it helps you to really be in the now. What is it you're grateful for that you have right now? When you do this, it changes everything. It helps us to see, oh my God, I'm in appreciation for something, which is my now, which is my current life. And then you can then, after you write down what you're in appreciation for, you really want to sit and be in the moment of that. We don't spend enough time in gratitude. So when we don't spend enough time in gratitude, a lot of times we spend a lot of time in regret or wishing and hoping. When we spend more time in gratitude, we end up having a more fulfilled life. We end up having more joy. And we also end up becoming more purposeful, more intentional in our life. This is what's key, and this is what the factors are. So I want you to share this video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I do these answers to these questions every so often because I think it's important that I don't take lightly that people do watch and view, and some people are really, on the Coaching Matters channel to really be fed I feed my viewers because I understand that so many people are hurting. So many people are experiencing life in a full amount of disappointment, and I don't want them to have to feel that way. But a lot of times, when I provide certain tips and help you to transform what you're desiring in your spirit, this actually helps you to advance in your desire that you want to be in. Your life is what you make it. I know that sounds cliche. I know you heard it before, but no, it's true. What we have in our life is what we did. So if we want to change it, we have to do something to do that. The change is not always easy, but the change is necessary, no less. And in order to change, we cannot stay locked in the past. When you have a really true love affair, while you're in it, please be aware that your love that you have isn't going to be ever experienced again. In the moment when you're in it, that love affair doesn't just, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't just happen and then, oh my goodness, I love it. Yes, but are you here? Are you in the now? It's very vital to be in the now. Problem is, a lot of times we're not. We're stuck in yesterday. We're stuck in tomorrow. To be present is the best way to live, because when something happens, be it as it may, positive or negative, when you're able to be present, you're able to learn how to be more cautious, more aware, more appreciative of what you have while you have it. We have a tendency to lose this because we don't realize it until it's gone. And then we do what? We mask in disappointment. We say to ourselves, I really wasn't there. I thought I was doing right by, you know, our kids or whatever. Our children grow up so fast. As parents, our child, my daughter is 25 now, but when I brought her home, she was, a little thing, 6 pounds. Change happens so quickly. So we have to be mindful that we have to be really present to pay attention to what is going on now. And when we do this, what happens is we start to realize, okay, I'm more present. I'm able to really enjoy my life. I'm able to really make changes. And in my changes, I'm actually getting more geared up to having more. And then as I experience more, I'm starting to feel more valued. I'm starting to feel more excited about being on the planet while I'm here. Everybody, if you go over to hospice right now, and those people they know that they have 6 months or less to live, they're in regret. I should have. I could have. I should have, could have, would have. Don't do that. Don't get to that point where, oh my God, I should have done this. I could have done this better. No. While you have the opportunity, and the opportunity is now, then start to focus on what it is I need to do. Okay, now that I get it, I need to be present. I need to be really aware of my now. It changes everything. You're not stuck anymore. You're not always feeling a way about what you don't have, and all that stuff is just too much. We can't hold on to the past. Past is just to be for memories. That's it. That's all. We can use the past for points of reference. We can understand our growth when we look back and say, oh, I did used to do that, but now I've changed it and now I've learned to do it this way, and for improvement. But a lot of times we don't realize, no, I need to make some changes. And in those changes, let me really value the now. Be in appreciation. That's the number one thing to really get current in your life. Be in appreciation for everything. Even when you come upon strangers, even when you're just walking to your car, be in gratitude. Gratitude is the best way to be current in your life. You will find out that, my God, I never realized how much I wasn't in appreciation for things I should have been. And then what was I doing? Lusting for my past, wishing and hoping for what I don't have anymore. I don't have that anymore because I learned, you know what? We can do this better. Be current. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, share the video. Again, make sure to hit the notification bell because that way you'll know when I go live so you can be here. And again, you can reach me. I am your coach. You can reach me at 8445-WISDOM, extension 0. You can reach me. You can also text that number, which is 844-594-7366. And you can text hashtag coach me, and I can give you all the details on how to become my client. I'm very available to my clients. I make sure that my clients are taken care of, and I do help them to see things outside the box. A lot of times we get so bogged down into our current life that we can't see very well. We see what we want to see, but we can't really see what it is we need to see. And sometimes having a coach like me, I'm going to give you a different perspective. You're not just going to hear me tell you just the common stuff. No, I'm going to give you something you've never heard before. And that is what I'm good at. I'm very good at giving and coaching you to see stuff from a different perspective. Why? Because that's how we elevate in our life. I'm out of here, guys. I appreciate you guys being here. Like I said, subscribe to the channel. I'm out of here. I'm your coach, Carla Nicole. Have a great day.